What's up, guys, and welcome to another video. I'm Blake Covington, the founder and CEO of Everything Massive, the best diet coaching company in the world. And yes, that's the truth. And to this week's episode, we're going to talk about carb timing, when to have your carbs, what types of carbs to eat during certain times of the day. Those are the two main questions. There's so much misinformation out there about carbs. You have people promoting keto, you have people promoting these carb drinks or whatever. And I'm here to tell you guys the truth. That's what we're all about. So I'm going to break this down into two simple points for you guys in this video. One is going to be over when to have your carbs, and the second one is going to be over what types of carbs do you eat, when do you eat them. So I'll give you guys two simple points to take home with you, and we're going to start with the first one of when to have your carbs. So before we get into that, I want to just lay this out there for you guys that carbs are not necessary to build muscle. You don't actually need carbs to grow your muscles bigger. However, carbs are necessary as a fuel source. They're the easiest and they're the most efficient fuel source for your body. So when to have your carbs, to answer the question, just simply makes sense to have your carbs around the workout time. If carbs are the gas for your body to move, right? Just like you put fuel into a car, we put carbs into our body to help us move, to fuel us through the workout. So in my experience, all my research I've done, of the hundreds of clients that I work with worldwide, I always put carbs around the workout time. Number one, that improves insulin sensitivity, because when you have the carbs, you're about to train and you're about to burn those carbs. And then two, with better insulin sensitivity and utilizing your carbs properly, you're able to lose weight better, your metabolism's better, everything's just functioning at a much higher efficiency than it would be if you're eating carbs for breakfast and not working out till 9 o'clock at night. So always the answer to the first question of when to have your carbs is to have them around the workout. I like to usually have a 2-hour window before I train and a 2-hour window after I train. And I like to have a nice satiating meal somewhere in those two windows, right? So the first window, this is just personally what I do, and what I actually have a lot of my clients do is I like to have them do a chicken and rice meal within 2 hours of training. And the carb amount can really vary. There's not a blueprint where I could tell you exactly how many carbs that you need pre-workout and post-workout, because everybody's different. Where my carb intake is way different than someone else's carb intake, and their carb intake is different from someone else's carb intake. So I can't tell you how much to take in. If you want to know that, or you want to discuss that with me, you can contact me at one of the links below. But when it comes down to that pre-workout meal with carbs in it, I like to do chicken and rice, and I do jasmine rice as well, because it digests a little bit faster. It digests simple and very, very easily with anybody out there. I've never seen white rice not digest well with anybody. So it digests really well. It makes you feel full, and by the time I eat it and get to the gym, about an hour and a half later, my stomach's empty. The carbs are in the muscle cells, they're in the glycogen stores, and I'm getting great pumps, great vascularity. I'm strong. I feel very energized for my workout, and that's really the simplest thing to do before you train. Is you want to take in a faster digesting carbohydrate if it's within 2 hours of your workout. If you're trying to train like within minutes after you eat, which I would never recommend, but I know certain people's schedules out there can be crazy, and they go straight from work, they go right to the gym, and then they get off work and they want to go to bed. So if you have a 30-minute window between leaving work or something in this example to go into the gym, then I'd recommend something a little bit faster, like something that's still rice derived, but that's a little higher in sugars. So one of my favorite food sources for something like that in that scenario would be the Special K cereal. Now, I like to do this with some of my clients that need these faster digesting carbs before they train, but a cup or two of the Special K cereal, a little sea salt on top, and then some honey, some all natural 100% pure honey, and that tastes really good. It's very high in sugars, it's very fast to digest, and it's all natural, and then from the honey, and then obviously you've got the sugar and the rice from the Special K cereal. Of course, I don't do any milk or anything like that. You don't want to have dairy before you work out. That is a huge no. I would never have anybody do that. If you have dairy before you train, you're not going to be feeling good, especially if you're working out hard, like my clients do. But something a little faster digesting before you train, and then the same goes for after you train. If you want carbs in immediately after you train to replenish glycogen, to give your body the energy to recover, to prepare the muscles for recovery, and to get them prepared for the next day's workout, then again, if it's right after the workout, kind of do the same as you did before the workout. Fast digesting carbs, higher in sugars. Of course, you want to make sure you have protein with that. Both scenarios, before and after. An example of one of my favorite post-workout meals to do, if it's immediately after the workout and it's a very simple meal, is to do 1 or 2 scoops of level 1 protein from First Form, or the Formula 1, which is a hydrolyzed isolate shake, and then do 1 or 2 cups of Special K cereal, and add in some honey, or you could even add in a scoop of Ignition from First Form, and your body will recover. It'll bounce back so fast, and the muscle glycogen will be refilled very quickly, and you can be prepared to recover and have a great workout the next day. Because your recovery starts immediately after you train, and you want to make sure that you get carbs in immediately post-workout, given that your nutrition plan allows you to have those carbs. Now the second point, moving on, is what type of carbs. So as we already discussed, when to have your carbs, before and after you work out, that's the best time of the day. We need to know what types of carbs. We kind of got into that a second ago, but I'm going to really dive into it now. So carbs are broken down into 2 categories. You have slow digesting and fast digesting, otherwise known as low glycemic carbs, or low glycemic index carbs, and high glycemic index carbs. Low glycemic index means that they digest very slow. High glycemic, you got it, means that they digest very fast. Now, there's actually a chart out there. It's from 1 to 100, or 0 to 100. Somewhere in there, I think it's like 1 to 100. The higher the number of the rating of the food, the faster it digests, and then, of course, the lower the number, the slower it digests. But you can look up almost any food and kind of see where it falls in. Or look up the ingredients in the food and see where it falls in on the glycemic index chart. But if you're working out right after you eat, we want to have those faster digesting carbs, those high glycemic carbs. So they digest quickly, your stomach's empty, you're not digesting food during the workout, and you're able to get the carbs into the muscles where they can be utilized to fuel the workout. Of course, the same goes with immediately post-workout. Now, if the situation comes up where you're working out at noon and you want to start taking carbs in first thing in the morning, let's say you get up at 7. So your first meal, if your program calls for carbs that far out from your workout, which some do, especially with my clients, I would recommend doing a slower digesting carb, a low glycemic carb, if it's like 5-6 hours away from your workout, being like oatmeal or granola, or something like, pasta's even pretty slow digesting. Of course you wouldn't have pasta for breakfast, but I'm just naming off some of these slower digesting carbs. Brown rice is a little slower digesting. I'm not a fan of brown rice. We can get more into the science. I'm not going to touch on that today. But let's say you're working out at noon or 1 o'clock. Your program calls for you to start taking carbs in, 5-6 hours before you train. Then I would recommend, of course, doing protein with any carb source, but starting the day with oatmeal or some granola or something like that. That's going to take 4 or 5 hours to digest. Oatmeal is very low on the glycemic index chart, and it does take up to 4 or 5 hours to digest. So I'd recommend that, and that will be digested before you go to the gym. And of course, if you have another carb meal before you train, that would be fine as well. But the carb meal before the gym would be higher glycemic, obviously, because the nature of your schedule that day. You're having carbs first thing in the morning, the oatmeal, maybe an hour before you work out. You have that cereal meal that we talked about with the honey and the Special K, and then you hit the gym. And so that's why that's how I would adjust the carb sources, depending on when you're working out and how far out from that workout you're going to start taking in carbs. That goes for before you train and after you train. after you train, if you did a fast digesting carb meal like the shake we talked about earlier, there's no reason to do that same shake again at 5 hours after 5 hours post workout. I would recommend doing a chicken and rice meal, or chicken, rice, and avocado meal, adding some fats to the carb source to slow the digestion rate down, because there's no reason to spike insulin. There's no reason to take in something very high in sugars so far away from the workout. So really, those are the 2 points, and with examples with both of those points: when to take in the carbs, obviously around the workout, and then what types of carbs to have. If it's close to the workout, you want a high glycemic carb. If it's further out from the workout, before or after, with I'd say more than 2 or 3 hours away from the workout, then I would do a lower glycemic carb. So with that being said, guys, that is all the carb talk for today. As always, thank you guys for watching. Please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Share this with your friends. I'm really trying to grow my channel. I'm trying to just simply put the truth out there. There are so many gurus and diet coaches out there, these big companies too, these gyms, these big box gyms. They're promoting things to get money. They're not promoting things that are the truth. And more often than not, I see diet coaches that they're so zeroed in on their beliefs, they don't look around and actually see what more information is out there. And I deal with that so much. And I believe that it's my responsibility as the best diet coaching company in the industry, and that's a fact, that we are going to prove them wrong, and that we are going to actually tell you guys the truth. So with that being said, I really appreciate your support, but I still need your support to share the video, to give us a thumbs up, to let us know your comments below, telling us how much you enjoy my videos or you hate my videos. Either way, if you have suggestions, please let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to answer you. I'll be happy to incorporate any suggestions that you guys have. And then, of course, if you guys need anything, you can simply download my app. It's a free download below. It's in the description. You can access tons of free information directly from me. This is my office. No one else is here doing the work but me. So anything on the app is directly from me. It's my work. It's to you for free, because I want to help as many people as I can in this world live healthier, live longer, and see the results that they've always wanted. So I'd appreciate it, guys, if you share what Everything Massive's about, share our mission, and share what we're here to do, and we're here to change lives. So thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you next week.